Hi guys! Today the long-awaited 15th episode of Skibidi Toilet Multiverse finally came out, and now I'm gonna break it down for you step by step. Get ready for a deep and detailed analysis of this episode. What kind of secret mission is Titan TVman following? What upgrades do other Titans get? And who is this unknown clockman on his time spider? Today I will try to answer all of these questions, as well as build some theories about what is actually happening here. Prepare to watch this video to the end not to miss anything. Now make some tea and grab your snacks. Let's go. Let's try to specify where those events do occur. Based on the image of this police car and the bridge that reminds me much of the Brooklyn Bridge, this battle is taking place in the USA. We have already seen how the Alliance fights with Skibidi in the States near the Raccoon Police Department in the 5th and 6th episodes of the series. The episode begins in the midst of the battle on the bridge, where we see a bunch of mutants that can be found near the Skibidi lab. Let's say, for instance, a toilet with miniguns that destroyed a cameraman who ran straight at him, a Skibidi strider with a huge gun between his legs, and another Skibidi soldier with laser guns similar to G-Man's from the original Skibidi toilet series. Besides, a Skibidi liaison flies through the air who has already appeared on the screen earlier, in the 10th episode to be precise. He has a satellite dish that is probably picking up the TVmen signals, a night vision device or some sort of camera in front of his eyes. Although who knows, maybe this device combines all of these features, and a TV under the toilet part that transmits the dish's signal. Do mind that almost all of the Skibidi are now equipped with a shield, and it seems to me that we will about to see it all the time starting from now on. Next to POV, another cameraman is hiding behind the car. As this poor guy looks out, a spear immediately thrusts into his head. At this moment, another unarmed agent runs straight at the mutants, but considering what happened a second earlier, I wouldn't do it if I were in his shoes. As POV turns back, we see a Skibidi policeman who was present in the 65th episode before in the original series. You will probably ask why this policeman didn't shoot the POV cameraman. I think he decided not to do it because he ran out of shells in his guns, so he flies away peacefully to recharge, so we won't see him again. After that, we can see 3 toilets advancing on us. 2 of them are quite ordinary, while the third one is similar to someone that appeared in the previous episode already. He has the same barrel on the tank, but the small toilet does not have a chassis though. At this moment, you can see that we are looking at everything through the eyes of an ordinary cameraman who has a classic white shirt and black gloves. On the left side, there's another agent trying to climb onto the bridge. I wonder under what circumstances could he possibly appear on that spot. Maybe he was trying to hide there, and as the battle continued to rage on, he just climbed under the bridge and waited it out. And on the right side, an armored black Skibidi rides across the bridge, paying no attention to the cameramen around him. When the Skibidi Trinity appears to be much closer, the Drillman bouncer comes to the rescue, knocking the strike out of the toilets. This time he is fully equipped and loaded, so no parts fall off from him, as it unfortunately happened during the process of the tunnel digging. He claims the cameraman to retreat, and at this moment another unarmed agent runs past. And when the bouncer rolls away, you can see that the cameraman has already armed himself with a rifle. I believe that he picked it up from one of the fallen comrades. While 2 agents are fighting, the third one does a cool somersault, just like he already did in the 13th episode. Could it possibly be the same guy? Do you guys think we'll ever see this acrobat again? POV grabs a spear and starts moving backwards to where the main forces are being concentrated, and right in front of him there are a few more Skibidis, so let's analyze them without hurry. Let's start with the toilet who has explosive barrels. He looks like he's a kamikaze or something, because there seems to be no other use from him. But in my opinion, such a Skibidi is ineffective not only because of its slowness, but as it will most likely be destroyed long before it would be able to drive up to the target. There is a mutant with a shotgun in a blue shirt next to him, and that's how he destroys the cameraman. POV throws a spear straight at the kamikaze toilet, which then immediately detonates. But it seems like the mutant was not so weak and survived the explosion, even though he was very close to the edge of death. He was obviously badly injured, but is still able to move. He's actually powerful enough to flip over the bus. POV was lucky though, so the mutant fizzled out with time and collapsed. Cameraman keeps retreating, flushing away some Skibidi along the way, but the mutant in the blue shirt did not die. He grabs cameraman by his neck, and at this moment the other soldiers are shooting at him with all their guns possessed. It seems so, though the bullets have no impact on him at all. Now it is very clear why this agent could not survive an encounter with such a monster. He tosses POV right at the huge bus and then throws it off the bridge. Darn it, this guy has an incredible amount of strength. As the bus is about to get flipped over, you can notice a strange object on one of the seats. It is almost invisible, but if you'll brighten that exact frame, it'll become clear to you that it is some kind of a toy or a figure. At least I think so. This toy seems to be dressed in a black suit with a blue shirt, and it occurs to me that this is a reference to the cameraman from the last episode. Don't you guys think so too? Or maybe it's a reference to Bacon from the game called Roblox. I mean, this thing looks pretty much like him, don't you agree? Cameraman was fast enough to be able to get out of the collapsing bus. As he is trying to climb back onto the bridge, an agent dressed in a yellow shirt runs past our eyes with a first aid kit. Perhaps he is a part of the rescue squad, but since all the soldiers of the Alliance are robots, it's most likely the first aid kit contains spare parts for repairs, and I doubt that he is running to save the Skibidi. However, for some reason unknown, these toilets do not touch him. By contrast, they purposefully go in the same direction, ignoring the POV and the medic. Having climbed the bridge, that cameraman continues to run away to the main forces, and while he is fleeing, Drill Skibidi comes out from the bowels of the earth right in front of him, as it already happened in the 11th episode. This time the toilet looks a little different. It has 3 huge drills and nothing more. Probably his task is just to dig a tunnel, because as for me, he is not particularly useful on dry land. At this moment, one of the agents starts shooting nails at him, after which the cameras fall on him from the roof and flush away the poor guy. Pay your attention to these flashes in the left corner of the screen, by the way. I think it signals that someone is approaching at a very high speed. What do you think? We will track to this a bit later, but you should keep that in mind. As the digger has been washed away, POV turns around, and we see this dude in an orange shirt with a nail gun, who already appeared in the 9th and 14th episodes. And considering the fact that he is here now, I can state then enough time has passed since the previous episode for him to be able to fly on the spot. The sound of an explosion can be heard, and a Skibidi helicopter flies up past our eyes. At this moment on the top of the bridge, you can see something of a red color with a white bauble at the top. It reminds me of a Santa Claus hat, so maybe it's a reference to the new year upcoming we all shall look forward to. The helicopter Skibidi is missing 2 rocket charges, as he spent one a second earlier, while the second one disappeared in the unknown direction. Perhaps he shot at the cameras that remained to be on the bridge, and the agents with rifles who are standing next to POV for some reason do not shoot at the Skibidi, waiting for him to discharge his rocket launchers at them. Quite fortunately, though, they are rescued by another helicopter under the control of TVwoman that crashes straight into him. And now we can see the Alliance's team site. Look at these 2 cameramen. They apparently have some kind of weapon in their hands, and they are trying to shoot from it, but it seems they have run out of ammunition. The guys still pretend to be useful, though. This guy with a blue drill on his head is doing the same thing, which is simply imitating shooting from his gun. We haven't seen such drill man yet. I wonder what else is he capable of besides shooting invisible cartridges. And also take a look at this handsome dude, who's also a genius and just a gigachad in general. And next to him, a beautiful Speakerwoman can be found discussing something with this damn plunger cameraman, and if he continues to approach her, then never mind, I'm a gigachad and I don't really care. Plunger cameraman flew here using his transportation system, and it seems like he has returned his red plungers that he used in battles in full. He holds a tablet in his hands as he shows it to the Speakerwoman, but from such a distance it's really hard to tell exactly what's in there. At this moment, an elite cameraman with a telescope peeks over the bags, apparently trying to see something on the bridge, and the TVwoman sort of transgresses herself straight into the next episode after the destruction of the helicopters. POV continues to run further, and then we're able to notice another drill man in a green shirt passing by. I suspect that this is an ordinary drill soldier, as well as cameramen in white shirts. And in the next episodes, we will see more and more of these guys. They have rifles of a very intriguing form, as if they were copied from the replicas of, well, let's say not some kind of advanced weapon. There is also a car that looks like an ambulance, but it has a huge camera on the roof, like these cars do, and a cameraman is lying on a seat next to it. It's not really clear why they need an ambulance if they are robots, though. Perhaps they want to be like people and decided to convert it to their needs, I do not know. The cameraman finally reaches the main clockman, and now we see that he ran to them with a message on his tablet. Let's take a look at this. All Titans are listed here, and you can see that they are all unavailable for some reason. Titan Clockman is under repair after being destroyed by Cameraman. Titan Drillman is also under repair. Perhaps the Alliance was able to take all that was left of his body out of the desert after the explosion, so they will not have to build a new Titan from the very beginning, and soon we will see him again. And two of our friends, Speakerman and Cameraman Titans, will apparently get some new upgrades. Speakerman had one of the flamethrowers destroyed in the last episode, as the Banshee Skibidi broke his core protection with her acid rocket. I think the Alliance is restoring his lost equipment, so we will probably be able to see something new in the future on these two Titans. I would like to observe Titan Cameraman having a huge sword that extends right out of his hand, and it is also possible that new devices from Clockman will appear on the Titans, as it happened with the Titan Drillman's head. And finally, we go back to the Titan TVman. It's being shown on this tablet that he is here due to some kind of special mission. Last time he appeared in the 12th episode with the message, "They will pay." Just to disappear somewhere afterwards. I have a theory that TVman is so strong that he's not simply teleporting, but is doing it betwixt many universes, and perhaps his secret mission's goal is to help another universe besides Skibidi Clockman Multiverse. The main Clockman takes the tablet from POV's hands and starts reading, but for some reason he reads the tablet in an inverted position. Apparently, it's more convenient for him, I do not know. While these two guys are checking the news, there is another flash over Drillman, and the sky turns purple. Dials appear everywhere, so everyone looks around in disbelief. I must say, we have already seen something like this before. It was in the 3rd episode, when the Titan Clockman subdued one of the Skibidi. After a strong earthquake and a bright flash, this thing appears right in the middle of the bridge. We have already seen this in one of the leaks for the 15th episode. Because of these wristwatches, I assumed that this huge piece could be someone's weapon. And to some extent, I was actually right. It really is a weapon, only it turned out to be a time spider, not a wrist gun, which is, in my opinion, even cooler. Let's look at it in more detail. The whole robot stands on 6 mechanical legs. At the very top of this robot, we can see a cubic clock with the great resemblance of Big Clockman's head. Right under them is a wristwatch, which we have definitely seen before, that's for sure. Look at this and make a comparison. They're exactly the same, just slightly different in sizes, which means that this Clockman is not just an ordinary guy. He definitely knows the pilot of this Spider Titan. There are also stopwatches attached to the wristwatch on its both sides. It looks like they are made of a very light and durable alloy, as they can be held on such thin fasteners. And in the very center of this whole structure, we see another huge clock. Based on the number of watches this guy lying in the robot capsule possesses, he can be called an actual Time Lord. Skibidi toilets don't touch him at all. Maybe they are too afraid of him, or maybe he has slowed down time for them so they can't do anything to him now. Finally, he opens his capsule and we can see him in his full size. His whole body is permeated by some kind of tubes, which are connected to the valves on his wrists and knees. On his shoulders, you can notice shoulder pads with the capsules attached. And I think there is some kind of gas or liquid in those that help this agent to function or get connected to the spider. An interesting fact, by the way. When the camera is getting closer, you can notice the SOS inscription on the control capsule, which is quite strange, don't you think? Is this cool guy sending a message about how he needs help, or maybe he is a prisoner of this huge device? Or it's just a part of one word, and the rest of the letters are hidden to be revealed in the later episodes. But those may also be not letters at all. Perhaps it is the number 505, and this is one of the time agents that can travel between universes with the help of their time forces. I think we will find out all that for sure quite soon. He starts twisting his head, and yellow lightning begins appearing around him, just like it did with the Titan Clockman when he started using his superpower. And after a fairly long charge, it suddenly disappears, stopping time for all the Skibidi present in the scene. In the analysis for the 4th episode, I've said that the Titan Clockman most likely does not teleport, but moves very quickly. You've been writing quite actively in the comments, though, that I was wrong. It seems to me that the action's mechanism of such force should be the same for both Titan Clockman and the spider. In slow motion mode, you can see that this spider still moves very fast, and most likely Titan Clockman runs just as fast. and he's just speeding up time for himself. As the agent disappears, POV turns around, and Big Clockman comes out to the light. Everyone looks at him, but it seems that he himself has no idea who it actually was. However, I assume that this clockman should know exactly what it was, and these guys need to ask him well about this mysterious person. And be sure you're subscribed to my channel not to miss my new videos with the deep analyses on Skibidi Multiverse. And that was me, Isotoilet. See ya!